I want to say, how do you persuade yourself? What are you doing to persuade yourself? All right. So on this call, we talk about the power within. And when I speak about the power within, I want you to understand your access and your spiritual man. All right. So persuasion is an inner effort of intense attention. Just like we said, it takes courage to believe in God. It takes courage to believe in in Jesus and understanding that they work on our behalf. It takes courage, right? But that courage also is in alignment with persuading yourself, having that conversation with yourself. And it takes mental effort. It takes a lot of effort and attention to speak to yourself the right way. All right. You have to listen attentively to what you're saying to yourself. Now, by listening, you can hear what you want to hear and persuade yourself beyond what you are hearing in your ear. Okay. Now we're getting into our hearts. All right. So you got to speak inwardly to yourself. So right now I'm doing a 21 days of growth. I do them all the time. I'm doing a 21 days of growth. And so I'm praying 3 times a day, and I'm also speaking my affirmations, which are my declarations. I'm speaking to myself, but I don't speak them in such a way where I'm like I'm reading a newspaper article. I read them with such emotion. I read from them. I think the very, very last call I did, I talked about living from what you want, not living towards what you desire. All right. So a lot of people say, hey, I want to get the promotion on the job. I want to be a day trader. I want to lose weight. I want to have a better relationship. I want a better spouse, better friendships, et cetera, et cetera. But when they're speaking these things, they're speaking towards obtaining them instead of speaking from them. What you guys have to understand is the power of our imagination. That is your spiritual man. That is that being. I think I said on the live today, I was like, everything that you see around you was created from our mind. This Apple Watch I got it on, this camera I can see y'all through, this microphone on my desk, this book, this paper, this pens, this keyboard, it came from somebody's mind. So when I said persuasion and inner effort, it's really, you got to pay attention to what you're capable of creating. You got to really pay attention to what it's awareness, guys. Your imagination literally starts in the mind, right? And you can conjure up things, you can imagine things, and you can literally bring it to fruition by just taking action. Every single thing that we have right now, I said this as well, is already here. It really hit me today on my walk. Let me tell y'all. So 2 things. Recently, I was doing something so random. They're doing a lot of construction in Atlanta. And I said, well, where all these supplies keep coming from? And so I just went on this random binge and I looked up concrete. I looked up the machines. I looked up the core. I looked up coal. I looked up pavement. I just looked up how everything was created. Everything is already here. All they're doing is either, oh, wait a minute, Siri. They're either mixing elements, right? Or they're breaking elements, or something that's like steel can be heated. And it just was like, man has not created anything. Like, it really freaked me out because y'all got to really get in tune with it. Like, the electronics was already here. The supplies to make a phone is already here. The supplies to make Bluetooth. And it's just like, it just blew my mind. It's already here. Tesla, if y'all see anything that is newly created, man may have finally had the thought, but the supplies was already here. So that just gave me goosebumps. So that took me on a whole nother high, because I'm like, God, you mean to tell me this iPhone was here when you spoke it, but we didn't know how to mix the right elements together to create the phone. Our awareness wasn't there yet, right? It takes intense attention. It takes persuasion. So now we got to have this inner conversation with ourselves, with our imagination, and you got to make your inner conversation match your fulfilled desire. I brought up the 21 days of growth because when I'm speaking these affirmations or these fulfilled desires, I'm speaking from them. The emotion is so intense, I actually cry. But I'm speaking things that are just in my imagination. But for real, honestly, they're not in my imagination. They technically already live on this physical plane. They're not just here. Like, I'm telling y'all, these elements, your fulfilled desires have already been fulfilled. You just have to understand how to create the right elements, how to create the right heating or the cooling, or change the dynamic of those resources to create your fulfilled desire. What you desire to hear without you must hear within. I'm going to say it a different way. What you desire on the outside, you must hear it on the inside first. Okay? What you desire to see on the outside plane, right? So when Apple said, I desire to have, what was the first thing they made a long time ago? The little MP3 player. We desire an MP3 player. Steve Jobs said, well, I have to desire it in my heart, in my mind first. I have to create it here first. You have to embrace the outside in first. I don't know if that makes sense. It's in here, inside, okay? You got to become one with what you desire, okay? Everything on the outside world is a bridge, and it's a bridge of realization to what's happening on the inside. Your inner speech is perpetually written all around you in happenings. All right. So you have to learn to make your inner speech become what's happening on your external world. And it requires, it's really in the space where you start teaching yourself. Focus, 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 persuasion, persuasion. All right. You have to have these mental conversations with yourself, but not just to be talking yourself all crazy, like, you're crazy. You got to be talking yourself because you have an awareness of why you should be talking to yourself. Y'all with me? You have an awareness of why you should be talking to yourself. That's why I tell people the most important conversation you're going to have with yourself is you. Okay? Is you. So if you say, oh, I won't be able to. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm building this school right now, this trader school. And if that person is on this call, I hope we have a heart-to-heart right now. Somebody text me. Let me tell y'all. Oh, I've been missing this call. I've been missing this call. Let me tell y'all, because I can be real with y'all. Y'all know me. I'm just crazy, right? Let me tell y'all. Y'all know we teach how you think and how you speak to yourself. Okay, let me write this note down. I'm gonna come back to it. It ain't time yet. It ain't time. I'm gonna have to set it up. Let me set it up. I need a piece of paper. Let me set it up. Okay, because I got to bring it back around. Let me see. The text I received. I'm going to bring it back around because I got to finish setting up the call. Okay, your inner speech reveals your state of consciousness of how you review the world. Your inner speech reveals your state of consciousness. So if you're speaking negative and doubt and fear and limiting thoughts, then that is the level of awareness you have, not only with yourself, but that's the level of awareness you have of God. That's why a spiritual relationship is so important, because you believe you cannot obtain and achieve things. So if you believe you cannot obtain or receive or achieve things, that means you don't believe that God exists. I have to believe that God exists, because where does everything come from? I have to believe that. All right. So me being aware that he has created everything, while in the world would I doubt I can't achieve anything? That don't make sense to me, especially when he resides within me. He said, I'm created in his image, right? Your inner talking mirrors your imagination. Your inner talk, how you talk to yourself, is a mirror of how you're thinking about yourself. Okay? Whatever state you're fused with. So if you're fused with belief, if you're fused with faith and perseverance and strength and courage, that shows what you believe in your imagination to be true. But if you believe that there is lack, that there is limits, that there is doubt and there is fear, you are fused with that because you feel it. Whatever you feel is what you're fused with. Okay? Whatever you feel is what you're fused with. It doesn't matter. For instance, I tell people life is a risk. I don't give a flying fish if you're on a plane or you're driving a car, you're walking down the street. You get on social media enough, you'll watch the craziest things happen to people. But if you walk around saying, man, stuff always happened to me, bad stuff happened to me all the time, and you are backing what you say with feeling, you are fused to your imagination of possibilities. Negative possibilities, which what happens is you're bringing it to an external plane. You're giving it life. You're breathing life into what you believe to be true, right? So you see it in your mind. You see the worst things happening in your mind. That's step number one. Number two, you speak it out your mouth. Number three is the biggest part. You believe what you speak and you believe what you see, because it's back with feeling. But what if you could use that same energy for constructive thinking? Oh, I believe I'm protected all day. Oh, I believe God watch over me. Oh, I believe God got my back. Instead of saying, oh my God, I'm so scared. If I leave the house, this happened to me. Goodness gracious. I mean, I don't even want to be around you, right? Because what you are unaware of is that you are creating it, because it's fused with belief. It's fused with desire. Let me tell y'all something. Our inner conversations makes tomorrow's facts. It's good, B. Our inner conversations makes tomorrow's facts, right? So what we have to stop doing is doing all this mechanical negative talking. I said on my Instagram today is that you have to really start questioning why you respond to things a certain way. Is your response inherited? Is your response trending? Ooh, that's good, be for real. Is your response trending? I had to get on the gram and talk about people getting on my last nerve, talk about trading is hard. I don't understand it. And when you take my course, you're really going to be irritated with people. Because how do you lose money? You lose money because you were uneducated. You unknowledgeable. But let alone, why do you fear making money? Ooh, that's good. Why do you fear making money? I don't care which way you try to make it. Now, I hope you make it in a decent way. Ain't nothing wrong. You might go out there and shake a leg or two, but that's your business. All right. But I need y'all to understand this. Where does your mechanical negative thinking come from? Why do you fear going to the doctor? Why do you fear taking care of yourself? Why do you fear reading the labels? Everything in the freezer section has sodium is ridiculous. Why do everything I'm telling y'all, why do you fear becoming more educated? Why do you fear loving other cultures? Why do you fear understanding? Why do you fear becoming financially literate? Why do you fear developing your faith? Why do you think that having faith is not cool? That's another thing. My friend hit me up. She said, B, what's the name? Be roasting on you. Talking about this. She said, scripture today. I don't give a flying fish. I got peace. Right? Y'all have to understand. You have to start developing new positive and constructive inner speech so it can mess with your fulfilled desire. Your inner talking is the beginning. How you speak to yourself is the beginning. And that beginning, you begin to sow seeds of the future. All right. You have to determine the action you must take, and you must consciously initiate and control your inner talk. And I'm telling y'all, you got to be very aware. And when you guys go to has anybody ever had a job interview before? Yes or no in the chat box. Anybody ever been to a job interview? All right. Or some type of business and some type of interview, right? Singing, audition, something like that. And when you go to this interview, you are very conscious of how that breath smell. You conscious of how that hair look. You conscious how your outfit look. You're very aware. I got to make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. We are very aware how we look. We're putting on a presentation. Okay. Now, that same level of attention you need to give for how you speak to yourself. Am I dressed for success today when I speak? Do I speak success to myself? Do I speak wealth and abundance to myself? Or do I saturate myself on fear? You got to nurture your environment for growth. You got to customize and nurture and really, really put yourself in a space. I'm talking about you got to critique yourself. Your environment is interviewing you. I'm going to say that in a different way. When you woke up and opened your phone today, what did you first see? Is your environment curated towards helping you grow or tearing you down? Okay? Because we about to interview you. Social media said, hey, Day, I'm Instagram. I'm about to interview you today. And when you come to Instagram say, dude, what you want to see today? Do you want to see negative stuff? You want to see positive stuff? Right? You got to curate your environment for growth. There's nothing wrong with social media. There's nothing wrong with anything. It's only about what you give attention to. The other thing is you. Remember, you got to be aware of what you feed in your mind and your thinking, your thoughts. Because whether you believe it or not, if you spend enough time with negative stuff, it starts to penetrate your spirit. Think about it. When somebody is calling your phone and blowing you up with drama and gossip, and you know you entertain it on the first call, you know, okay, well, I'm be praying for you. I hope you get everything get cool. Then they call you a second time, you might give them the same response. All right, cool. It's gonna get better. You're gonna work through it. They call you the third time, bro. If you don't stop calling me with that same thing, you see how your energy is changing. You starting to get irritated. That's That's sick. That's sick. That's that's saturating you. I'm telling you, I done been there. Or if you go to certain environments, work environments around certain people, that start getting on your last nerve. Guess what? Your energy is changing. They're not curating. They're not curated to helping you grow and succeed. That doesn't mean you cut them off, but you sow a seed and you keep it moving. Y'all, you either gonna shape up or you ain't. We're not gonna keep making the same mistake over and over and over again. So that's why I tell you guys, you got to be very aware. Is your environment curated for you to grow and for you to really maintain very positive speech? I'm not saying that you're not going to hurt. I'm not saying that you won't cry. I'm not saying that you won't grieve and have losses. What I'm saying is that you have been so saturated in such a positive environment that when life does hit you, not only will you be able to carry yourself along the way, not only will you be able to assist Jesus in carrying the cross, but he'll carry that cross for you. Right? So understand, you have to make sure you construct your sentences in a way that you feel your desires fulfilled, your chief aim fulfilled. I have a large, steady, dependable income consistent with my integrity, consistent with my beliefs. I am so happy and grateful. I am in the best shape of my life. My body is made pure and perfect. I am so happy and grateful now that I have amazing friends that love themselves, that focus on themselves, that focus on spiritual growth and personal, mental, and financial success. I am contributing good to the world. And you say these sentences over and over until you are inwardly affected. Because just because you say it don't mean you feel it. That's the difference. That's the difference. People say stuff, oh, I love you, girl. But hush, you don't love me, right? I'm telling y'all. So your inner speech has to start being a representation of the world you want to live in. Ooh, that's good. Your inner speech has to be a representation of the words you want to live. I'm talking about inner speech heavy, guys, because I'm gonna bring that text message up in just a minute. In the beginning was the word. In the beginning was the word. Man attracts who he is. Okay, so let's pause for a second and really observe. What did we say to ourselves today? Did we say anything negative to ourselves today? Did we look at somebody and feel inferior? Did we become jealous of somebody else's success? Right? Does your inner speech and your chief aim, do they match? That's good. Do they match? All right. So take a self-observation and identify what you're saying. Listen, I don't want you just focus on what you saying out your mouth. I don't want you to just focus on what you can actually hear. I want you to also focus on what you feel when you say it. What do you feel when you say it? Is it a two-way prayer, or are they both in alignment? Right? Let me say y'all, so my 21 days of growth, one of the things I'm saying to myself is I'm so happy and grateful now that my conscious and my subconscious mind are in alignment. I think and feel from what I imagine. That's one of my affirmations. I'm so happy and grateful now that my subconscious mind and my conscious mind are in alignment. I think from and feel from my goals. The reason I say conscious mind and subconscious mind, because your conscious mind is this. Okay, let's take somebody who loves working out, because it's always gonna work. Somebody that loves working out, they subconsciously gonna hop up and go to the gym every day. My one of my closest friend, Alex, that boy goes to the gym every day. I mean, you think he worked up. He loves it. He enjoys it. And you can tell he's dropped tremendous weight. My cousin, he's a boxer. He dropped like 70 pounds and no, like 100 and something. I forgot, 70 pounds in like 3 months. He loves his profession. He gonna do what's necessary. It's a no-brainer to them. That's subconscious effort. But let me give y'all somebody who don't want to go to the gym. Consciously, they sitting there trying to talk to themselves. Man, I don't feel like going to the gym, man. I know I need to lose this weight. I got that tire around my waist. My knees hurt. Can't close my shirt. So they're trying to convince themselves. That's a conscious effort. A conscious effort. It's a debate that's going on. It's rejection. You're objective to what you need to get done. Also, subconsciously, their subconscious mind agrees too, because that's who they are. Subconsciously, they don't like going to the gym, so they are in alignment, consciously and subconsciously, right? But somebody who is trying to change the diet, to change the narrative, is subconsciously they're not, it's not easy for them to go to the gym. So what they got to do is start having those conversations with themselves. They start persuading themselves. I'm so happy and grateful now I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm so grateful that God woke me up today so I can take care of my body. God, thank you for my legs and thank you for the strength so I can walk to the gym. There is somebody right now who doesn't even have the ability to walk to the gym today. So God, I'm thankful for that. But what we do is take it for granted. We don't read the labels on bad foods. We think fast food is the best food on the planet, and we deteriorate. We're slowly doing suicide, whether you believe it or not. You can't condemn somebody for smoking a cigarette and you eating fast food every day. It's the same difference. It's just different effects, right? So they got what? You know what? So they're speaking to themselves consciously. So what begins to happen? Not only do they speak to themselves, they begin to instill a routine so it can change. So remember, subconsciously, they don't want to go to the gym, but consciously, they trying to override it. Oh, we going to the gym today. We're going to get this muffin top in shape today. All right. So and you're talking to yourself. I'm going to do this. So you get down there and you're working out. And you talk to yourself again on the next day. Yes, I made it to the gym today. I didn't want to come, but I made it. Then you do it on the third day. Yes, I made it to the gym. You may skip the fourth day, but then you go to the fifth day. And so you do it every single day. And eventually you're no longer arguing with yourself. You're no longer saying, you're now just doing it with ease, because subconsciously and now consciously, they're both in alignment. They're both doing, your inner speech has been changed. You've changed your inner speech. But why? By persuading yourself, by making a conscious effort, right? By remembering the chief aim. Now your inner speech and the aim, they match, right? The inner speech and the aim, they match. I tell people all day, I love this. I think I got this from Mom. I don't know if it's Bob Proctor or Jim Rohn, but they say you can change you can change your thoughts. Oh, wait, you can have thoughts and not change your thinking. You can have a million thoughts. You can change your thoughts all day, but not change your thinking, because the thoughts is what it's just, you might be in the middle of praying and you think about cooking. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be focused on the prayer, right? So those are thoughts that's going through your mind. You might be drifting off to sleep and you're thinking about things you need to do the next day or things you forgot to do throughout the day. Well, you're supposed to, task is to go to sleep, but you still keep having these thoughts, right? So you got to say, stop thinking about everything else. Focus, rest, right? So that's one thing I want you guys to keep in mind. Inner talking matures when it's backed by feeling, and you just got to keep saying and remember, and you say those affirmations over and over again. But you can't just say them all random too. You got to put yourself in a nice space. So I have this space in my house, and I make my alarms go off 3 times a day to say these affirmations in this prayer, and I silence everything. It's quiet, and I really just get into it. I just close my eyes, and I start to think I'm so happy and grateful now that I've compounded my account. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm sowing good into the lives of other people. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, brand new students in the Dating Kiki. So I start saying these things, and I think about my sales goals, and I think about the number of people I want to impact, but I don't just say them to say them. I start feeling them. And guess what starts to happen? I start having an emotional experience, and that enhances the feeling. But what also begins to happen is it not only changes how I feel, but I begin to carry that feeling with me throughout the day, because our thoughts are things. Every single thought is a form of vibration, right? Think about it. When you see a hurt dog, they don't have to say nothing to you. You can see that dog is hurt. When you come across another human being that's going through something, they don't have to say nothing. You can feel that energy. Why is that? Thoughts are energy, guys. So when you begin to back that thought with energy, you send it out into the universe. So you might be sitting still, but you're not. It's just everything is constantly moving. Even when somebody passes away, the body deteriorates, right? The body changes to dust. and then the dust changes into the ground, everything is still constant. Oh, that's good. You think the table is sturdy. Do you think the table is sitting still? I promise you, if you put that thing under a microscope, it's still vibrating. Everything is still vibrating. So when somebody comes around you with great energy, if somebody comes around you with bad energy, you can still feel the thought without them opening their freaking mouth. Why is that? So go back into your space. Whatever you're saying to yourself, those thoughts are vibrating out into the universe. God said, I will give you the desires of your heart. So when your thoughts start to vibrate, when they're back with the right feeling, God is receiving your signals. You're transmitting your thoughts and your prayers to God. And he said, oh, wait a minute. I can feel that because it's a desire, because a desire is backed by feeling. And I can answer that call, but I can't answer it if it's misaligned. You can't tell me you want to be wealthy, but you feel poverty in your heart. You can't tell me you want the doctor to take care of you, but you hate going to the doctor. You can't be a hypocrite. You have to have, you got to choose which side you're going to be on. Right? Your inner speech calls everything into existence. Okay, whatever you consent to, whatever you believe is going to reveal. Let me tell y'all this is so good. Whatever you believe, you can talk all day, but whatever you believe in here, whatever is backed by feeling will always be revealed. It will always be revealed. Your words, they are life. All right. So I want you to try to notice what you're saying to yourself at any given moment. All right. That's right. When your thoughts are backed by feelings, that is your desire. And you're sending that desire off to God because it has to be back. God can't receive an empty prayer. He can't receive something that's just flat. Man, I can't wait to get rich one day. What? First of all, what are you even saying? The first thing he's going to say is, well, I've given you resources and audios and videos on how to become financially literate. Then you're not even vibrating on a wealthy vibration. You said, man, I can't wait to get wealthy one day. That was sad and depressing. It ain't got no energy behind it. You want him to, can't nobody answer that call, right? Can't nobody answer that call. That didn't even go nowhere, right? So try to notice what you're saying to yourself at any moment, the thoughts and the feelings that you are consenting to. And to change your life, you got to change your inner talking. You got to change your awareness. When your imagination matches your inner speech to your fulfilled desire, okay? When your inner speech matches your fulfilled desire, your reality will just happen, guys. Okay? I want to give you guys another thing. Your happiness is going to be dependent upon you volunteering the voluntary use of your imagination. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to say it again. Your happiness is dependent upon the voluntary use of your imagination. You have to volunteer yourself to use what you're capable of creating. A lot of people use their imagination based off of impulse. It's a reaction, right? Oh, right? You have to treat your imagination like you got to be very intentional about it. You got to be very conscious of it. It can't be you can't be responded. You can't be just responsive to it. You got to be like, it's like when you get up, some people read every day, some people pray every day. It's like you going to work. You have to voluntarily say, okay, I'm going to use my imagination today. So you can construct what you want and inwardly affirm what you want to be. And you got to match yourself to those chief aims. Okay. It is a frequency. It is a habitual occupancy. All right. That's the secret to success. So you have to habitually use your imagination with intention. Live in it. Don't be like, oh yeah, B talked about that call about 3 months ago. And you ain't did nothing else about imagination, right? It is possible to resolve every single situation out of the proper use of your imagination, because ultimately imagination is just your desired prayer, guys. Okay. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of evidence of things unseen, right? It's impossible to resolve every situation, okay? As a rule, when somebody is totally unaware of their inner talking and therefore sees himself not as the cause, but the victim of circumstance. This is so good. When somebody is unaware of how they speak to themselves, it's time for me to talk about the text message now. Okay. When somebody is unaware of how they speak to themselves, they will always see their circumstances as something always happening to them. When they are unaware of how they speak to themselves, they will always be the victim of their circumstances. They will never realize they are the cause of the circumstance. They believe the circumstances are happening to them. So we have to consciously create the circumstances that we want to happen to us by speaking the right words within. You have to consciously direct your speech. That's why I said earlier, you got to make sure you are voluntarily using your imagination the right way, voluntarily, intentionally. Just like you brush your funky teeth every day, you got to voluntarily say, you got to set aside. You got to wake up, do your laundry, wash the dishes, let it's imagination time. If you can cut on the TV, or if you can get on leisure time on social media, you can voluntarily use your imagination. All right? So matching that still small voice to your fulfilled desires. We're going to call things not seen as they were. The right inner speech is essential. All right? It is the way out of limitation. It is the way into freedom. Ignorance of imagination is a battlefield. It is the penitentiary. All right. But it should be a place of wonder and special outcomes and situations. The right inner talking is the first step to becoming who you want to be. Okay. I'm going to tell y'all about a text message. So, okay, one more thing. You must stop spending your thoughts, time, and money. Everything in life must be an investment. I'll say it again. You must stop spending your thoughts, your time, and money. Stop spending it. Okay? Stop spending your thoughts on the wrong inner speech, the wrong thinking. Stop spending your time on the wrong things. Stop spending your money on the wrong things. Stop spending your behavior on the wrong things. Every single thought, choice, action, word, deed is an investment. You should think of yourself as an investment. If what I'm about to say is going to be an investment into my future, if this phone call I'm about to have with a friend, is it going to be an investment to my future? If this TV show going down, it's okay to have leisure. I'm not knocking leisure. So you can do like an hour or so, but don't overindulge into things. All right. To spend is a waste. It is a squander. Okay. What we desire does not lie in the future, but in ourselves, inner speech. What we desire does not lie in the future. And I can give a whole nother phone call about time. When someone is unaware. Ooh, I don't know what I done said. Please. Okay, let me see. I got you. When someone is unaware of how I'm gonna say it a simple way. When someone is unaware of how they speak to themselves, they'll always be the victim of them circumstances. They'll always play the victim, not realizing they created the circumstance by their inner speech. When someone is totally unaware of how negative they talk to themselves, they will always see themselves as the victim and never the cause. Then that's a scary place to be. Not aware that they're not aware that how they speak, it actually creates a world. They don't even know that how they speak creates life. God created the world with his words, and we're made in his image, which means that part of us have the ability to create our world by speaking. That speaking is created backed by feeling. So if you believe what you speak, you are creating your world. If you feel what you speak, there we go. If you feel what you speak, you are creating your world. Okay? At any moment in our lives, we are faced with the infinite choice. Who do we want to be, and what are we? And what we want to be is already existent. But we have to realize that we have to match our inner speech and actions to it. I'm going to say it again. Who you want to be, it already exists, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to match your inner speech and your words to it. All right? It is only what is done now that counts. My word shall not return to me void. Isaiah 55:11. That's it right there. My word shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper into the thing where I sent it to. Oh my goodness. Isaiah 55:11. My word shall not return to me void, but it shall go and accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper into the thing where I sent it to. So where are you sending your words? Remember, your thoughts are things, your words are things, every part. Why is it that we can create static? Why can't somebody shock me? You are energy. We're just forms of energy. We're just balls of energy. So when you go out there saying crazy stuff, I'm looking at you like, oh my goodness. But that thing about to come and smack them in the head because they have no idea. Again, they're unaware of how they're speaking to themselves. And it's so scary. It's so scary because they have no idea. And they just play woe is me all the time. Oh, everything happened to me. I can't find no job. I can't get, I'm always sick. You know, it's just always something. So let me tell y'all about this text message. I'm going to close this call. So I launched my Data and Kiki pre-sales. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a day trader. I'm an investment educator. I teach people how to accumulate wealth and become the highest versions of themselves. God gave me the vision to build this academy. I ain't want nothing to do with it. All right. So I finally said, all right, we're going to do this. I'm excited about it. I've evolved from that frame of thinking. I'm excited. I've been ecstatic every single day about it. Now, when you are learning investment education, minimally, you may spend for a 5-day class, 10 grand, 2 years, 50K. All right. So my course is 4 figures. All right. It's a low ball. I sent that message out. I sent the email out, and somebody sent me the most rude text message. And the text message, you know, they were rude, but it was what they said that just made me squirm. I was like, oh my God, they don't even need to join the course. They need a paradigm shift first. All I heard was, it's too much for me. I cannot afford it. And then they insulted my beliefs as well. Are you sure you prayed to God about this course? It was just a lot of crazy talk, you know? And so I broke the whole conversation down. I said, I'm ready to talk to this person because I need to have a mindset call. And I don't know if God was protecting them from me or me from them, but all I know, they never would get on the phone with me. I was polite. I said, hey, let's speak. Let's set up a time. They ghosted me. 3 days later, they sent me a message. They didn't give no introduction, nothing. Hey, they don't even say, hey, I need to talk to you, blah, 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 blah. And I say, okay, great. How are you? Happy Thursday. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking to? They still don't say nothing. I said, Lord, I don't know what's going on. And I ain't going to even chase it because I don't even give people that time. I don't even give people that type of time of day, especially when you had a wrong tonality with me. But never happened. And I don't know what it was. But when they said certain words, I was like, you believe that you don't have money? Like, you know, because I teach these things and I live by these things. For you to believe that something costs, when I learned how to trade, by the way, I didn't have the money to trade, but I did not allow that to be what I spoke and what I believed. You see what I'm saying? It was a fact that my bank account was negative, but my faith and how I felt inside was that I was wealthy. So I didn't care what was going on over there. I knew God got my back. And so that's a perfect example of inner speech, how you speak to yourself. 2 things could have happened. You could have not sent me the message and just saved the money up, or you could have just went to a whole nother platform, right? But to come to complain to me is the worst thing any human being can do, because I'm just going to give you a whole mindset call. All right. So inner speech, to say you want to learn how to day trade because you want to have financial freedom, but to say it's too much to learn. You got to choose your side. because you believe that you're poor. You believe that you have lack. You believe that there's not abundance for you. You have to be careful of the words you choose to believe. So I was just going to break the whole conversation down and say, okay, so first, let me ask you this. What is your faith? You can't believe in God because we don't, that's opposite of what we learning. So I need to clarify that. So what is your faith? Okay, well, what are you reading for? And can you point out where that's at? Because I'm missing that, you know? Also, what makes you believe it's too much? Another pet peeve of mine is the word is expensive. I don't believe in the word expensive, ladies and gentlemen, just so y'all know this one fun fact about me. Expensive to me makes me believe that I'm telling God that he will never bless me with more. Expensive to me makes it goes with lack, right? Too expensive. It's too expensive. No, it's not. Just make more money. Nothing is too, because money is it's perception anyway. Remember, concrete, cell phones, clothes, shoes, watches, food, TVs, every single thing you can possibly see with your eyes, engines, brakes, tires, buildings, bricks. It was all given to us for free. It was all given to us for free. So where does price come from? Price is just perception. The hat on your head, Melissa, cotton. Somebody picked it out. The color for the hat, the metal clasp for the hat, the car seat, the car roof, the engine, the brakes, the steering column, the paper. I'm telling y'all, the ink. You Google how everything is made. I promise you, it's already a natural resource. Oil. I even looked up. What did I look up the other day? Oh, I think it was plastic. It comes from oils or something. I was like, wait a minute. Foam cups. I was like, it's just compressed. These folks come up with all kinds of stuff. All natural resources, gasoline, natural gas, batteries. It's all natural. It already exists. They got to go mine all this stuff. They got to go get the oil out of the ocean, right? Or they're digging in. I'm telling y'all, everything that we have is already given to us for free. Everything. Because I want to understand when the word price, gold is even mine. Gold is what? It's free. Everything is free, y'all. Y'all ever thought about that? Everything is literally free. Diamonds are free. But why does it have a price to it? It's just perception. You believe that money has value because you were taught to believe that. But money is a tree. A tree grows out the ground. And it's printed. The ink is free. But we live in a world where you have to learn the value of something. But ultimately, everything is free. So for you to believe that something is expensive, I'm going to say, well, you do know it's for free, for real, for real. But you're not paying for the item. You're paying for experience and time and effort and hustle and sweat and blood and tears. You're not paying for these collard greens. You're paying for these blisters in my hand from picking them. You're not paying for these apples. You're paying for the time it took for me to package and clean them and ship them all from the Latin America to America, and then send them on a truck, and then send them to Publix, and then Publix had to put them on the ship. You're paying for that. But nothing that you ever buy already had a price to it. God said, I will give you everything that you desire. Don't worry about how the birds gonna eat. Why would you worry about why would you worry about how you gonna make it the next day when I'm able to feed the birds every single day? When I'm able to feed the animals every single day? Let alone, they don't even have the power of choice. They just sleep, eat, rinse, and repeat. And have more babies. Now, some people do that too. But they have the choice. We have the choice to be more than just that. Right? So how do you speak to yourself? That's going to be the most important conversation you're going to ever have with yourself. Man's ignorance of the future. Oh, man's ignorance of the future is ignorance of his inner speech. Man's ignorance of the future is ignorance of his inner speech, his ability to speak to himself. His inner talking mirrors his imagination. What you can see in your mind is what you'll speak to yourself. And what you speak to yourself is what you'll see in your mind, which can become a reality. But there's no opposing power outside of yourself. Because he even told me the enemy can't even have that much control on me. So there is no other opposing power outside myself. I have the power to create. I have the power to destroy. Whenever your desires, last but not least, whenever your inner speech and what you desire are in conflict, your inner speech will always win. For instance, this person desires to learn how to trade, but they're telling themselves it's too expensive. They're speaking to themselves that they don't have money. That's what I don't have the money. Why would you say that? God bless me with the avenues. God bless me with the resources so I can afford. Listen, you cannot afford to speak wrong to yourself. That's another thing. You cannot afford to speak negative to yourself. Your health cannot afford negative speech. Your family cannot afford negative speech. Your relationships cannot afford negative speech. The promotion you desire, the business that you want to start, the future self cannot afford for you to be talking crazy to yourself. I got somebody right now that want to call me and gossip so bad about something negative, and I have not answered that call. I cannot afford to hear that right now. I can't. And then I don't even deal with stuff like that. Why are you still trying to call me and talk to me about that? Right? That's it, y'all. When your inner speech and your desires are in conflict, your inner speech will always win. I don't give a flying fish what you want. You can want wealth, health, great friendships, great relationships. You can want better finances. You can want a better house. You can want a better education. You can want, a better peace of mind. All that don't matter if you keep speaking crazy to yourself. So now when y'all go out and about, I want y'all to be very aware of not only what you say to yourself, I want you to be aware of what you listen to. I want you to be aware of, I got real deep. I said, why do I curse? Like, that's how really in tune I got with myself. I said, where did I learn how to curse? And I said, I'm going to try to learn to stop cursing. It come out every blue moon. It's still in me. All right. Cause I did it for too long, but I've put myself in a position now where I started consciously saying, I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to curse. I just want to see if I can do it. And especially me, I'm like, bro, I love God. Like, where did it even come from? I start asking myself, why do I like certain things? Or why do I do certain things? Was it something that I naturally like? Or was it learned behavior? All right. Don't get me wrong. Listen, I love me some good trap music now. Give it a clean version so I can be all right. All right. But I want y'all to understand, just think about stuff like that, because it really does come out of how you really can flourish in your life. Right. You can have every single thing that you desire. I no longer believe $1 million is a lot of money. I used to be like, man, I'm gonna be a millionaire one day. But then I started thinking about these numbers. I'm like, bro, if I buy a house, 200-300K, that's already down 7K. That ain't enough. Right? I gotta take care of my mom, my family. That ain't a lot of money. Right? Why? Because it's my perspective. I don't believe $1 million is a lot of money, but somebody else may believe it. But why? But it's still free. It's just paper. It's just paper. Right? I want y'all to forget that. So I want you to remember, everything you got is for free. Remember how you speak to yourself. And remember, how you speak to yourself is what you will create. You have to take accountability for your circumstances. Remember, there are things that's going to happen out of your control. All right? That's going to happen. But please be aware when it was in your control and take accountability. All right? I love y'all. I hope y'all had an amazing night. I hope y'all got some value tonight. And your inner speech. Our hashtag for the GW community chat tonight is just going to be inner speech. Absolutely, P. Inner speech is the hashtag in our generational wealth community call. If y'all can do me that one big favor so everybody know that we back. If you are not in the GW chat, let me drop the link right quick. Inner speech, man, inner speech. So I'm gonna close out with this. One more thing. Your life is going to, you're going to have, okay, let me put it this way. You may not feel your best health. You may not have the most financial abundance right now. You might be living check to check. Your bills may be more than your income. You may be in horrible relationships and you're trying to transition out of bad relationships. You may not have a lot of friends. Your family may be suffering. There may be facts in your life right now. Your kids may be hard-headed, doing what they want to do. I'm telling you, there may be situations in your life that are facts. But whatever you speak to yourself, remember, first of all, remember that God got your back. You got to believe. Secondly, you have to be aware that even though life is happening on the outside, your inner speech can change all that, especially when it's backed by faith and the right actions. Okay? So don't forget that. You may be broke as a joke. All right? Broke is temporary. Poor is a mindset. Okay? Broke is temporary, but being poor is a mindset. All of that can change with the right information and right speech, but don't allow that to change your this is how I want to say it. You can have a cockroach on the ceiling. I want you to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm in my mansion, but you got to believe it. Put the pictures and the images up. Okay? You got to see what you want, or you always see what you already have. Put the images up all over the place. I'm going to say that one more time. Put up what you desire. Say what you desire, but you got to believe it so that what you desire is only what you see. Okay? It doesn't matter that your refrigerator could be outdated. Put a new picture of a refrigerator on the refrigerator. So that's what you see. Because if you only see what you used to have, you always get what you used to have. Okay? So let's get it. Y'all have a beautiful night. I love y'all. Happy Tuesday. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. All right? Peace and blessings to you guys. Inner speech is the hashtag. Y'all be safe. Thank you, Miss Melissa. Y'all have a beautiful night.